Just how much should you give up to succeed in your job? Here are some of my thoughts on regret and The Devil Wears Prada. So Andrea wanted to be a reporter, but to do that, she must first work at Runway magazine under the most impossible boss you can imagine, Miranda Priestley.
I need 10 or 15 skirts.
What kind of skirts?
Please bore someone else with your questions.
Never ask Miranda anything.
You run errands.
Hello?
Where are my eggs?
Hello?
Lingerie. Boogie boards.
A million girls would kill for this job.
I thought, take a chance. Hire the smart fat girl.
At first, she was fine with just getting by. But as demands got higher, she did get pushed into doing more and more as she subconsciously wanted the approval of her boss. And the more she did a good job, the more was expected of her. And this, my friends, is the never-ending cycle of corporate America. It's a vicious cycle of eat or get eaten. At a certain point, though, you might think to yourself, up to what point is all this work still worth it? You might not think about it much now, but I can imagine that as you get older, time can become more and more important, and all of a sudden you come to realize just how much of your life you have spent in something that you really did not want to do. Now, there's this book by Bonnie Ware called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying, A Life Transformed by the Dearly Departing. And there she enumerates some things that I feel are related to the things Andrea in the Devil Wears Prada movie realized later on. Number 1. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. The author said that this was the most common regret, and people do come to realize it at a time when they may no longer have the luxury of health to pursue these dreams. With this in mind, I think it's important in whatever stage you're in right now to reflect if you're living a life that is true to yourself. To live a life with no excuses and no regrets, you have to make sure that the state you're in now is something that you have decided for yourself is the most positive and fulfilling direction for you. Only you can know what you really want, and you just have to be brave enough to grab it. For Andrea and the Devil Wears Prada, I believe there is such a thing as courage in quitting.
I mean, what if I don't want to live the way you live?
Oh, don't be ridiculous, Andrea. Everybody wants this. Everybody wants to be us.
When it came down to it, she decided that she wasn't the person her boss believed her to be. She wasn't ready to sacrifice her principles or friends to get on top of the ladder. And after she made that decision for herself, she was much more happier for it. Two, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. You know when you always do overtime and you feel like you can't spend any time relaxing, else everything will fall to pieces? Well, contrary to what you might think, that might probably be the best time to get a vacation. Based on actual studies, this can rejuvenate your thought process, prevent a harsh burnout, and even lower attrition rates for companies. I guess you can say this might be the reason why the secretaries of Miranda Priestley in the movie didn't stay for very long. But if you are very much a workaholic who just makes a point of working and working, sacrificing everything else for your career, do keep in mind this fact that when people get older, no one wished that they had worked longer hours. No one. So set aside some time to think about what really is most important for you before it's too late. Number 3. I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. If there is something that is bothering you deep in the pit of your stomach, let it out. You will feel so much better for it. If it's that important, don't think about what others will think, will say, or will do. Society will judge you anyway, so first and foremost, be kind to yourself. There is a related quote by Mark Twain, and it goes, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do than by the ones you did. So have that bit of courage to step out of your shell, and remember that you should never settle for anything less than you think you could. And more importantly, not because someone else think you could not do it. Number 4, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. It's so easy to get caught up with what you're doing right now that you forget about the people in your life that are actually the ones that make life worthwhile. Don't take your friends or family for granted. If you don't have time, try to make time. In the movie, Andrea was focusing all of her time and energy in work that her relationships became rocky.
Well, maybe this trip is coming at a good time. Maybe we should take a break. Nate? I'm sorry. Just 1 second.
You know, in case you were wondering, the person whose calls you always take, that's the relationship you're in. I hope you two are very happy together.
She did soon realize how important these relationships were to her, and it's good to mend these things before it's too late. Number 5, I wish I had let myself be happier. This notion is intertwined with some people generally being afraid of change. They become comfortable in old habits and ways that they didn't just get out there and experience things to laugh and be silly about. They might have been too scared about what others may think that they traded off their own happiness for it. I don't think that's a good way to be, and being true to yourself is the only way to live a life well lived.
Go.
So yeah, that's some of the thoughts I got from The Devil Wears Prada. I do think some movies can nudge you into introspecting about your own life and gain something positive from it. So that's it. I hope you got a bit of value from my own introspection. What do you think? Are you happy with your work right now? Are you currently working overtime? If so, then do let me know what you plan on doing about it. This is Mitch Rocks, signing out.